Grand Risings family, and I want you all to know that this is a new angle for me on this camera. So if I'm playing with it, pardon me. But happy set apart day of a higher. All you who obey his commands and hearken to those requirements and his statutes that he requires from the foundation of the world. I pray you are wonderful this rising. I am excited. My first official live stream in the new place. And no matter where we are always in Him, right? So I want to put a bookmark at my other place I'm going to go to. The title of the video is Psalms, oh, not Psalm, it's Worship into His Rest. Because He places some in my heart that you guys are all familiar with, that we're going to go into worship. And I know that before I go into His rest, even coming up in Christian church, that it's good to have worship and praise before you do the word. And His word says to enter His courts with thanksgiving and His gates with praise, so we can thank Him through worship. And a lot of those beautiful songs are given to us in Psalms, and they can come also from your heart. So let me see if this angle works a little better. All right, so let's see. One more thing, family. Pardon me. So I don't really want it in my face too much, but that's about the best I can do. All right, so I wanted to start with the Psalm 23. Okay, I don't care how much we may feel that this is a familiar song to us or a old song. It's just good to get in your spirit. And the word says that faith cometh by hearing and hearing the word of the Most High. And so the more we hear His word through song, through poetry, through rap, through action, or however it's given to us, and we share it, it's getting in the spirit. All right. Do I need my little drum? I'll just do it from my little heart. Okay. Do 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 do. Ahaya is our shepherd, we shall not want. He makes us to lie in green pastures. He leads us beside the waters. He restores our soul. He leads us in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Yea, though we walk in the valley of the shadow of death, we will not fear no evil, for you hide us with us. His rod and staff, they comfort us. He prepares a table before us in the presence of our enemies. He anoints our head with oil. Our cups are running over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all of the days of our life. We shall dwell in the house of Ahia forever and ever and ever. Ahia is our shepherd, we shall not want. He makes us to lie in green pastures. He leads us beside still waters. He restores our soul. So come on. He leads us in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. We walk through these valleys, but we will not fear no evil. Though our enemies may sit amongst us and try to throw us off, we shall walk in the boldness of righteousness, declaring his kingdom. Yes, his kingdom is coming, and we shall behold him in his glory, and we shall behold our Savior in his glory when he appears. Yea, though we are walking in these valleys, we shall not fear no evil. We shall fear no evil, 'cause he's with us. His rod and his staff, they comfort us. He prepares a table before us in the presence of our enemies. Now anoints our head with oil. Our cups are running over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us. We shall dwell in the house of Ahijah. We are dwelling in the abode of Ahijah forever and ever and ever. Forever and ever and ever. I your will. Mm-hmm. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Ahijah is our shepherd. He shepherds us away from the wolves. We will never doubt or be in fear. He leads us and guides and protects us. Oh, I your will. I your will be done. Yes, we gotta die, but nevertheless we live. Flesh, you gotta die, but nevertheless we live. Flesh, you gotta die, but nevertheless we live. Flesh, you gotta die, but nevertheless we live. Ahijah is our shepherd. We shall not want. He makes us to lie in green pastures. He leads us beside his waters. He makes us in green pastures. We shall not want. We shall not lack. We shall not fear. For Ahijah is with us. For Ahijah is with us. Oh, we won't fear. Oh, we won't lack. Oh, his will be done. Yes, it will be done. Yes, we gotta die. Yes, we gotta live. Oh, we die. We have life. I said, though the flesh may die, yes, we have life. Oh, we thank you up higher for another day. A rest in you, a Sabbath rest. We thank you up higher. Psalms 121, family. We will look up to the hills from whence comes our help. We will look to the hills from whence comes our help. We will lift up our eyes to the hills from whence comes our help. Our help comes from a higher. We will not fear. He will not suffer my foot to be moved. He that keepeth me. He doesn't sleep or slumber. He who keeps Jacob, higher is our keeper. Higher is our shade upon the right hand. He will not smite us. Yes, the sun will not smite us by day, or the moon by night. He has equipped us with his loving, giving us melanin and love. That's right. Our highest shall preserve us from all evil. Our higher is preserving us from all evil. He shall preserve our souls and all that pertains to us. Higher shall preserve our going out and our coming in from this time now and forevermore. Oh, he shall preserve our going out and our coming in from this time now, and he is keeping us forevermore. Oh, we thank you, higher, for how you direct us. We are not left or forsaken. You have always been here. All praises, family. Thank it higher for what he has done, what he is doing, and what he is going to do. Yes. So let us go on head down here to Deuteronomy chapter 6, which is the initial for the Sabbath rest. Okay, our highest set apart day that he has declared first foremost in the heavens. Then he shared it with a people upon earth, which is our people, the children of Jacob. All right, children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, so let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6. I was just telling my husband this rising. I said, it is an honor that he chose us to serve him. It is an honor. He could have chosen any other people unto himself, but he chose us. And because of that, we do the best we can to fulfill his law to the best of our ability. And where we are weak, his spirit is there to do the rest. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 6, family. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Ahiah your keeper commanded to teach you. Grand Risings, happy set apart day, Zion. Your fringes are in this box over here. Okay. All right. That thou mightest fear Ahiah, your keeper, to keep all his statutes. So if you keep his word, he will keep you. It's going the same with preserve as we just sang out of Psalm 121. I'm telling you right now, he is a preserver. An example is when he preserved my milk when it was dated to be expired, but my milk was still good. Yeah, I don't think she can fit that anymore.
Sure.
You can try, put it on her. She barking somewhere. To keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, you and your children and your children's children, all the days of your life, that thy days may be prolonged. Now it says sons, and the reason I want to say that it says sons, but we know when we're speaking of man, we're speaking of all creation, which is women and men. But when it says specifically son here, is because the sons are the heads, are to be the future heads. So to teach your sons is to make sure they can teach their households. So I want that to be understood with that, the reason why it's stated there. However, I say children because we're just, we're teaching girls, and some people don't have sons. Some people have just girls. So not for girls to feel left out. However, it's stated and written here as sons because there was order even with the commandments being given. But we understand that it was no requirement, like with Adam. Adam communed with the Father and taught Eve. All right. Let's proceed. Okay, so I command thee that you and your son and your son's son, okay, your children's children, all the days of your life, that thy days may be prolonged. So life is in his word. This is evidence. Verse 3. Hear therefore, O Jacob, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Ahiah your keeper of your fathers have promised you, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Hear, O Jacob, Ahiah, I am that I am, is one, and that you shall love Ahiah, I am that I am, with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. If love is keeping the commandments, then we must obey him with all our heart, with all our might, and with all our soul. That shows him that we love him. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shalt talk of them when you sittest in your house, and when you walkest by the way, and when you lieth down, and when you riseth up. You and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and shall be as frontlets between thy eyes. So as you bind your hands, wow, that's something he's showing me right there. What? Your shirt? Okay, try the bed in my room. I want to read that again. Verse 8. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. You know what he's sharing with me right here? Is that these, mind you, the commandments were our vows to him. So as a husband and a wife has vows to each other at a marriage, and the ring represents the sign of marriage, he says that the commandments as a nation to him, it should be bounded upon our hand to him. So we are married to him, and the sign is binding it upon our hands. So not that you get the little boxes and wrap around your hand like what the Jewish people do, but let your hands be bounded in serving him in his commandments. Oh, I won't touch that. It's unlawful. Oh, I'm not yielding to this. It's unlawful. Oh, I am hearkening to this. It is lawful. Oh, I am serving this. It is lawful. Binding my hands. as the ring is a representation for a woman, a husband and wife, to assign to others that she's bound to a man. We understand that there's people, what the people say the origins of it comes from, but nothing originates from something that isn't real. Catholicism isn't real. So at the end of the day, marriage was established and instituted by the Creator. Everything concerning marriage comes from the Father. Anything that is of other heathens that try to add a touch to it, they're not the originators. They cannot. Like the Father said, what He put together, no man can break asunder. So what He established, no man could take away. Like the rainbow. The rainbow is a promised sign from the Father. I don't care how many gays wear that rainbow. They cannot profane the promised sign symbol. It's still to this day, as for me and for those who love the Father, still represents a promise. Let's proceed. So if y'all saw that, and when it says bind upon your eyes, like people put on nice glasses or shades. Well, I see the children of darkness, they wear shades. A lot of them, when they're on interviews or when they're just going about in their lives and they want to be seen, they have shades on. And one would wonder, well, why were they wearing shades? Or they don't, because they say the eyes are the window of the soul. Why don't they want their eyes to be seen, or the soul, the window of the soul to be? It's that they got shades on, like they're covering something, right? Well, He says here to have them upon, and they be frontlets between thine eyes. Frontlets between thine eyes. So your eyes to never be seen, and two, to be narrowed, to only see Torah, to only see His word. What do they call that? What do they call it? A third eye? When you're not using really these eyes, but you're basing upon the spiritual discerner, which, because the word is spirit. So when we have the word as our frontlets, that means we have the spiritual discerner before us. Like when you're pulling an ox, when they're tied to a yoke and they are pulling before the man, making way. Where there's no ox at, the house is empty. Where there's no head at, the house has no prosperity. So where there's no covering of the Father at, your house is empty. And remember what the scripture says in the New Testament, what they say, with a revised or the fulfilled covenant, that a house that's swept and garnished is room for unclean spirits to come and dwell. So it's not to be empty. We don't want it to be empty. We want a master. Either it's the master of the Father or it's the master of the wicked one. Look how this works. I'm telling you how He just gave us a beautiful breakdown just by looking at verses 8. Verse 9. And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. Now, what else did He tell us to put on the posts of the house when we were coming out of Egypt, right? He said, get the blood of the lamb upon the doorpost on the hedge, right? And the sides. So we are a house. We are tabernacles, right? He dwells in us. So our heart, which is our mind, and it's a vessel, the heart is the vessel that pumps blood. But without the vessel pumping blood, the body has no life. So there's power in the blood of who? Yeshua. So the power of His blood that pumps through us, we are like that old Adam being breathed back to life when the spirit of quickening comes into us, born again vessels. Okay. When we as a nation were dead, Ezekiel 37, and He has the prophecy of the word be spoken to us, and we heard and we see and we witnessed, and then we was like, whoa, we're the people. Oh, whoa, we are the children of the covenant. That was that quickening breath, like He did with Adam. He breathed into Adam, and Adam became a living soul. So we became a living nation of those who, from the foundations, He already said, we're going to wake up. Rather than or to come, whomever they may be. Let's read that again. Verse 9. And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. Ears, eyes, mouth, nose. These are your gates. They're AKA portals. So let the word be established to only be entering. Let the word only to be exited out. Entering. That goes into armor. Having your loins girded. Breastplates. This is guarding our temple. Like, well, before they made the temple, there was the outer gate. See how you can see the temple even right here, y'all? In Deuteronomy chapter 6. Look what the Father is doing. I am extremely excited. Because he said Deuteronomy 6. I'm like, okay, he probably going to give me Deuteronomy 6. We're going to go to something else. Boy, what a treat here. Verse 10. Okay, he says, stay in gates. All right. So thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. Now we understand this. See, the word is spiritual. We receive the revelation of the word, the knowledge through spirit. We can see how vain and silly the Jewish people look by putting the little box on their heads and wrapping the thing around their hands, and they have no understanding. Why? Because they are a dead, far nation he was not dealing with concerning this word. So imposters will not give you proper understanding concerning his word. He's only going to do that with his children. So before we get to the eternal of the temple where he rests, he wants the gates to be guarded. With what? The word, aka the portals. Don't be listening to foolish and folly. Don't be speaking foolishness and folly. Don't observe. Even when we're out and about in this public, play the blood over your eyes. The women nowadays have a tendency to wear tights as though that's the only pair of garments they have. And it's absurd. It's literally women are walking around naked, and men as well, because the men's pants are tight. So we got women wearing tights, men wearing tight jeans. They're naked. Verse 10. And it shall be, when Ahiah thy keeper shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities. Stop right there, he says. If he says he's going to give you great cities, and whose great cities is he giving you? They are in possession of a great people, mightier than you, but mightier through what? The kingdom of darkness. They're not mightier than you because we have no might. Because our Father, our keeper, is stronger and he's greater than all. So when he's saying is these cities that are built up and established through greatness of wickedness, I'm going to bring them down and give them to you. But you have to be in position to receive them. You can't be like them. This is why I tell you to not go into those cities and to take on their ways and to be like unto them. Which thou buildest not. Ooh. Now remember, if you're not building them, then you're not what? You're not their captors. You're not their servants. In other words, you were never supposed to be building their cities. You were supposed to be taking possession of their cities. So if the roles got switched, that means they must have read this and said, I don't need these people coming over here putting me in captivity. Better you than me. But see, Jacob's got to realize that in order to have authority and position of power, you've got to keep these commandments. 11. And houses full of all good things, which thou fillest not, and wells digged, which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees, which thou plantest not. Oh, y'all, let me tell y'all something he blessed me with earlier this week. When we had family word, it was in Genesis 2. I'm gonna put my place here. I'm gonna show y'all something just really quick. I ain't gonna have to, we don't even gotta get real deep. We just gonna show y'all something real quick. Okay, now I got my sticky note under in verse 11, which thou plantest not. You don't believe? I'm gonna show you how you did it with Adam. Come over here to Genesis 2 really quick. Okay, let me put my another bookmark here on the page. Zion, you see my flashcard on that couch over there?
Me?
Yeah, you see a flashcard? All right, I'll just use this printer paper here. All right, Genesis 2, family. Go with me real quick to Genesis 2. I'm going to show y'all something so beautiful. All right. All right. Okay. Let's start with verse 1. And when we get to the verse, I want to break it. We want to work with you all, and then I'll show you. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. The heavens and earth was finished, okay? And all the hosts of them. He said, and all the hosts of them. Did you get that? All the heavens. That means the sea, the sky, that and those that pertain to the sea, that pertains to the sky, the earth, and everything that pertains to it was finished. Verse 2. And on the seventh day, the Ahiah, I am that I am, ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he made. And Ahiah blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. So he created things, but what did he bless, y'all? What was the first thing he blessed? The Sabbath day. We're going to type that in here. Y'all stand by, because this ain't even. Sabbath day was the first thing he blessed. He said when he created everything was good, but he blessed the Sabbath day. Okay, keep that in mind. If you ever want to show somebody why the Sabbath is so important, you can take them to Genesis 2. You ain't even got to go into what they would call the law. So let's go to the beginning. Come on over here. Verse 3. And the keeper, I am that I am, blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. Oh, and he sanctified it. If I got any I don't got no moderators on yet. And he sanctified it. In other words, he set it apart. So when he blesses something, he sets it apart. His blessing is not scattery, like somebody from Church of Christ Christian Ministries running in the streets hollering, repent, repent, repent. The gifts of the Most High are not just like free, okay? Okay, and sanctified it because that in it he had rested from all his work, which Ahiah created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that Ahiah, the Most High, made the earth and the heavens. He said, this is the generations he has made when he created the heaven and the earth. Generations were established. Y'all, I need y'all to hear this right here, which means each generation that was established, he knows what he established within those generations. He already knows what you are, what it is. There was no surprises with him. And of course, but it's another thing to read this and to really see this. When you read it, you're able to see it. You're not just looking at creation like he says a word and then one tree came up. Oh my goodness, y'all. Of course, you might not have saw that, but I need y'all to understand. Oh, let's get deep. Come on. Verse 5. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Ahiah the keeper had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. He telling you he gonna have you going to cities you ain't built yet and houses filled with things you don't believe it. When he created the earth, the trees were already established with their fruit before there was even a man to plant the seed. So if when he created the earth and things were already produced, then how much more can he produce things for his children? Yo, this is beautiful, right? But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And Ahiah, I am that I am, formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. The great spirit breathed into his creation. He didn't do that with animal. He didn't do that with tree. He didn't breathe upon tree. He didn't do that in the ocean. He didn't do that in the sky. But with man, he breathed his breath into and made living, a living soul. Didn't say human. Didn't say mankind. It didn't say creature. It said living soul. And Ahiah, when we say Ahiah, you really can say I am. And I am that I am, planted a garden eastward in Eden, And there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made I am that I am to grow every tree that is pleasant. He made. Come forth. Pine tree, come forth. Grape tree, come forth. Do-choo-choo-choo. Do-do-do-do. Ra-ta-ra-ta-ta. Bim, bim, bim. And a river went out of Edom to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. All right, so I don't want to go too deep into this or too far into Genesis 2. But what he wanted me to express to you all is that verse, I believe it's verse 5 and 4. 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that I am made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For I am that I am had not caused it to rain. So man is not the reason why things come forth. Man is not the reason why things will fail. So for those who are pushing the idea, what they would call, I can't remember the name of those people, but they're like, humanitarians, and they want to prevent preventions of water savers and animal save life, and climate control people, markers or whatever you want to call them. That's cute and everything like that. But what I want you to know, according to the word of my Father, the living creator of heaven and earth, is that man did not make nothing, man cannot hinder nothing. That which my Father caused to be created, he can cause to be destroyed. And he is the only and top authority of all things happening, far as with weather, with produce, with man, everything. We don't give a John Brown how many CERNs or creativity scientists you come up with. Y'all ain't stopping nothing. Okay, let's come back over here to Deuteronomy 6, family. Just wanted to let them know that in case any of those are watching. Give them a friendly. And if you can't see that in Genesis 2, I'm sorry about it. For the ones who are of this world. But for his children, we're going to get it. We're going to see, because see, our eyes have been opened. All right. So verse 11 again, which thou plantest not, when thou shalt have eaten and be full. Not only is he going to say, you don't need to worry about planting nothing, but it's going to be good, like I established it from the beginning. One cluster of grape could provide wine for a whole state. Verses 12. Then beware, lest thou forget I am that I am, which brought thee forth out of the land of bondage from Egypt, from the house of bondage. Don't start smelling yourself. Don't forget him. And this is what has happened in generations of old with our ancestors. When he has brought us out, he delivered us. He showed us good. He given us good. And it's just that fleshly nature who always wars against the spirit goes to say, yeah. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, what gratitude will do, gratitude and humility will keep you abased to say, you know what? I didn't do this. There's no possible way I can begin to even think to forget him. And you got to say this to self. You got to remind flesh, don't you even try it. You better get back in your position where you belong. Lest he put me worse than where I came from. And this is for us as a nation to get in mind. We as a nation need to keep in remembrance, because we've heard with our ears what he has done before. Let's go to 2 Samuel. Let me see. Is that the precept I want to provide for you all real quick? Let me get your precept real quick. 2 Samuel 7:22. Okay. Put my bookmark here again. 2 Samuel, okay, 7:22. I really appreciate you all for behaving so well. You guys are doing so good this rising. Ahaya is pleased as well. First Samuel. Hmm? What is it? She bit the nose off?
Yes.
I'm sorry about that, son. You got to keep your toys up from out of her reach. You know, Gail likes to bite on them.
Yeah, that.
7. Okay. Verse 22. Wherefore thou art great, O Ahia, keeper, for there is none like you, neither is there any other keeper beside you, according to all that we have heard with our ears. We have heard by why? How? Faith. By what? Hearing and hearing what? The word. By reading. So reading this word has gotten us a seed, mustard seed. We already start off with mustard seeds. Blessed be us who have not seen but who believe, right? Yes, you already said that. You're blessed. Now, what are you going to let that seed of faith do? You're going to let it what? Grow. By what? Not just believing, but to know. To beyond know, assured. Without a shadow of a doubt. Where when doubt tries to come and choke at the word like a tear, you rebuke. You don't even let the thought marinate. All right? Just wanted to read that really quick. Okay? So let's go back over here to Deuteronomy 6. So we're having a good rhythm with Deuteronomy 6 today, I can say. All right. Verse 13. Thou shalt fear I am that I am, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. That is a commandment. I want to highlight that. You shall fear him. When we hear those who obey him according to their own understanding and come up with own doctrines and religions and traditions, they don't fear him. That's the first thing. Because see, without fear, they have no knowledge. And you have no knowledge, you ain't going to fear him. So they go hand in hand. And in order to get the knowledge to fear him, it's established over here in the word, what we call the Torah. You cannot understand to learn him and fear him. You ain't even nowhere near him without fearing him. You must come under the rod. Ye shall not go after, come on, let's get it. Ye shall not go after other gods of the gods of the people which are round about you. This is to tell you that these other people worship something that you don't. So with that being said, we must understand when we see the money and it says, in God we trust. So whom God do you speak? Oh, my father warned me to not be serving other gods. So let me make sure your God ain't trying to disguise itself looking something like my God, because we know how you copycatters are. You copycat everything else we do. So just to be on the safe side, we want to make sure you stay on the left side and I'm over here rocking on the right side. I'm going to underline that. He said, round about you. Round is a circle that does not end, which means it ain't just some God people. It ain't just people on this side. They only got a God, but these people, they're okay. Or those people in front of you, they serve a God, but hey, don't be mindful when you're dealing with these people. In other words, everybody around you, all these little funny little places, they all got their own deities. It don't matter where you go. It don't matter where you are. They all got gods. Everywhere you look, front, back, up, down, dag on it. The mermaid even showed you this deities of the sea. Because he said the heavens. In other words, the Father established the kingdoms as life. He put life in each kingdom. Life in the air, which is the fowl. They worship that. Yes, they do. Every single nation has had an eagle bird as their symbol. Don't ask me why. Guess what? That's a form of worship. He warned us about gravening images of anything that's in the heaven above or in the earth beneath. The sea world. They deal with marine kingdom. They worship that. See, even before you deal with people, you can't. You can't make this kind of stuff up, family. Verse 15. For I am that I am is a jealous keeper among you. Underline that, family, and highlight that. Who is he among? Where does he dwell? Who does he live with? He doesn't live with everybody that professes to be his people, for he must first call, and he has the statutes of what makes you his child. If you're not in the alignments of those people, of those statutes, I don't give a John Brown what you quote and say and do. You're not none of his. And this is specifically to you rebellious ones out here who don't obey what is required. And yet you call yourself his friend. I'm going to underline that. It says among you. So we go from be aware of these other deities around about. I'm among you. So you're like, imagine, you're like a little lamb amongst a wolf pack. As a nation, we are like his lambs amongst wolves. Not to mention wolves who are mangy, wolves who really ain't got no strength, but they come off like they bad. Because everything about them is false, is fake. Fallacy is nothing real about. Lest the anger of Ahiah, lest the anger of Ahiah, one more time, lest the anger of Ahiah, thy keeper, be kindled against you and destroy you from off the face of the earth. So there's a people who look like they're being wiped off the face of the earth, and there must be this anger from the keeper, creator, against them. And that must mean they are not obeying his word. That explains also why our nation's in situations we're in. We don't need no president promising us leaders or any policies puffing up hot air to make us more boisterous and proud like them. We've been warned to stay the John Brown away from you. Verse 16. Ye shall not tempt I am that I am, as ye tempted him and Massah. Ye shall diligently, yes, ye shall diligently keep the commandments of Ahiah, your keeper, and his testimonies and his statutes, which he have commanded thee. And even before the Messiah was actually on the earth, who dwelt amongst us, there were testimonies. I tell you this, that prophets or old were also testifiers. They prophesied and they were a living testament that you could rely on, that if you didn't obey what they prophesied, you will see consequences. So the apostles were like what you say, prophets, testifiers, teachers, and healers. They basically was like the graduate of prophets. Most I said, oh, they got a problem with my prophets, huh? Well, I'm getting ready to bring the standard up. Like he told them, Matthew 10, if they don't receive you, I'm going to need you to dust your feet off. And it will not be good for them. Because why? They must, for some reason, let me tell you something. You may think Christians and others of you rebellious ones who may go to the Torah, or what they call the New Testament, and you may read and be in agreement with what you're reading without knowledge, you have not received them. You are as bad as someone dusting his feet off. The apostles don't have to be here to dust their feet off. The word will testify against you on the day of judgment if you do not apply yourself to what is written in the volume of the book. Help us, Father. Like he said with faith, if you're lacking in faith, pray that your faith be increased. Say, Father, help us where we lack to be in complete obedience with you. Because I had a dream the other day, first official dream in this home, where I was just about in a dream, and then I heard a voice say, look up to the sun. And I looked up, listen, and I looked to the sun, and there was as if there was like a skeleton or a white glowing. It was as if it was a white, I can't say skeleton, but from a distance, all I saw was white and a body shape. It didn't have hair, it didn't have face, it didn't have nothing. It was just a white being in the Son. And I heard the voice say, "Pray that that you be counted worthy, that Son, that the Son don't take you." So a representation is not the sunlight. We know who the Son is. We know that it's the Son. So that's word. He says, "Pray that you be counted worthy." So he's it's a confirmation, not that any are to say that there's so, am I doing something not worthy? Am I worthy? Or what you got to understand is that the warnings in the word comes. And when he reminds us of things, it lets us know also, hey, where am I at? Because just like our phones have updates, the Holy Spirit is our update. The Father lets us know time prophetically where the John Brown we are. And to look up at the sun the way I did and my eyes weren't squinting, it let me know I wasn't looking like at a sun. But it was that star that he created, the great star, all right? But inside that great star was a being that was like a white glory. Because we understand that Yeshua's going to shine brighter than the sun.
Mom?
But he's coming like with fire. He's coming with heat like the sun. So within the dream, I understood what the Father was telling me. Yes, son.
Can I mean my dream?
What you had? You want to share with the family? You don't want to share?
Yeah, I'm just like shadow.
Okay, you don't want to share right now?
Yeah.
All right. You had it in this house?
Hmm?
You had it here, or was it old?
It was added here last night.
Last night? Why you want to share?
It's not my business.
Oh, okay. Private affairs. All right. Okay, moving along. So in other words, in that dream, I was with people. So with me receiving that dream, it's for me to also let other people know. It like his word says, pray that you be counted worthy. So when you pray that, it's his job then to show you things that you have to do to get there. This within you is not worthy of me. Get it out. This of you. Oh yeah. Moving along. Verse 17, I believe. Ye shall diligently keep the commandments of Ahiah, your keeper, and his testimonies and his statutes, the order of his word, not doing it the way you want, which he have commanded thee. And you shall do that which is right and good in the sight of Ahiah, not in the sight of man. And when he says, and you shall understand, these are commandments. In other words, for those of you who are keeping commandments for, even if you think you're not, for attention of others, please stop. You don't have to upload and post every single, like, for some reason, I can't explain it, but the Spirit knows if you're doing it genuinely for his glory or if you're doing it just to be seen. And it's annoying. It really is annoying. And I'm not trying to be a bully or anything like that, but I'm asking humbly if you happen to be watching me, and don't let you be a matured elderly person, like age wise, earth years, and you're doing stuff that deems you as a child. I think it's about time to leave Facebook alone. We don't need to know every 5 minutes everything that's going on in your life. That's not discretion. Discretion shall preserve thee from the evil man. All right. And thou shalt do that which is right and good in the sight of Ahiah, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest go in and possess the good land which Ahiah spurned to thy fathers, to cast out all thine enemies before thee, as Ahiah has spoken. You do what's pleasing to him, he'll make, like it says in the word, he'll make your enemies be at peace with you. As a nation, you do what is pleasing to me, I will drive out nation enemies before you. I have spoken it. It's my word. It will be done. Then thou shalt say unto thy son, when we, wait, I'm sorry, verse 20. And when thy children ask for thee, and the time becomes, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgment in which Ahiah, our keeper, have commanded you? Why are we doing this? Why can't we go out shopping on Saturdays and do what other people do? Why can't we do this and do that? Why can't we have Christmas and Easter? Da 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 boom bow. That's what it's saying. If ever your children ask you, why am I living a life that's set apart and different? Oh, my beloved child, take them to Genesis 2. For in the beginning, my child, when he created the heavens and the earth, did you know he blessed the Sabbath day and sanctified it? If he blessed us as his nation and sanctified us, then we're set apart just like the rest of the days of the week. I mean, this day from the days of the week. We're like his Sabbath to him. And that is a sign that he's chosen to have identify who obeys him. If you bless and sanctify his Sabbath as he did, then you are of him. That's the communication that he has with between us. He wants to see. That's what he's looking for. Who's obeying him when he looks high and he sits down? What is that? Psalms 14. He looks to see if there was any that understood it with amongst the children of men. Children of men don't understand, so we're not going to beat ourselves up trying to. But we are no longer mere men. We are born again. Behold, all things are passed away, become new. Back to Deuteronomy 6. Then thou shalt say unto thy children, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and Ahiah brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And Ahiah showed signs and wonders, great and sore, upon Egypt and Pharaoh and upon all his household before our eyes. Again, there goes the like the ox with the yoke. That there may be a different amount of oxen, but they're all bonded to the same yoke. So, like he said over here with the eyes and the frontlets, okay, in verse 8, thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. Then you shall know, when we read here, signs and wonders were supposed to be before you in your spiritual man. Now, okay, we are the generation that did not see those things, but when he brings the word to mind, it through spirit, we will see him, his mighty wonders, through receiving and believing in his word. I know when I read the word, it's like I see, I'm there, you know. 23. And he brought us out from thence that he might bring us into us in. That he might bring us in. In other words, he brought us out that he might bring us in. Into what? Into his place of eternal rest. Oh, it's fine, son. Ahaya blessed everything in it. You're good. Yes, son. Have faith. Okay. That's why he said to Moses, this people. He wasn't yet calling us my people yet. Right? Because he was still at that proving place. That was when we were engaged, if you know what I mean. And like with the husband and wife, the man presents the rock to the woman, and it's like, wow, the signs and wonders was like the rock. Who was the rock? Yeshua. He was using his word. Now say, let my people go. Oh, you won't? I'm going to bring down frogs. I'm going to bring down hell. I'm going to make the waters bloody. I'm going to kill your firstborn. Boom. Signs and wonders. What a wonder. Oh, Father, you are so magnificent. You know how to carry on. I mean, you know how to cross every T and deal with every single issue. And I thank you for it, Father. I bless your holy set apart name on this lovely set apart sanctified day. Blessed be I, O my soul, all that is within me. That's right. In him we shall be confident. Okay. What was I, 23? He brought us out from thence that he might bring us in to give us the land which he sware unto our fathers. And Ahiah commanded us to do all these statutes to fear Ahiah, I am that I am, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is this day. So I was just telling my son, we were through this week, we had to go back and forth, handle some things from the air we left. Um, you know, and there was some stuff that it was in the refrigerator we didn't really eat. And Zion just asked me, Mom, is this safe? And I prayed when I left, before I left, I knew that the date said what they said. But I know that my Father is able and willing to do above all I can think, ask, or imagine. And so I prayed. I said, Father, I trust that if you preserve in me, I know that anything pertains to me, you'll preserve it as well. And so when we came back, I turned, because we have oil heating as well, oil and electric, just for the top floor. And I turned it low since we weren't going to be here for some time. Um, and it was the 50, as the oil man told me over the phone from the company. When I came back, um, there were some things in the refrigerator that were frozen and some things that were not. And I was like, oh, my chicken. I had thought I was going to cook. My chicken's probably gone bad. I went and looked at it yesterday, y'all, because I was kind of beat to make it. Chicken's still preserved. Chicken's still good. John asked me about them French toast. I said, you better go ahead and eat them things, because he told me Psalm 121. He shall preserve me my going out and my coming in. So if I go out to go shopping, that which I touch, he said, and in the commandments, if you keep the commandments, anything y'all put my hand to, blessed be my basket. Y'all got to really believe these things. We can't focus just so much on the curses to wake us up, but we got to realize what the blessings are really saying to those that obey. And when you speak those blessings, that he says, oh, my child believes. Oh, my child. Now I got to bless that word that they just spoke, because like me, I speak a word and it's blessed and it's done. So because my child is speaking it, I got to manifest and show them, yes, my child, I heard your faith. Yes, child, your food is good. No, your milk will not spoil. No, your bread will not spoil. He did it even with those with the statue of keeping the Sabbath, that it was no stink or worms in our food. We had no refrigerators then. We used salt to preserve our stuff. And he told us we're the salt of the earth. Come on, y'all. Why are we the salt of the earth? Because we what? Possess his word. We are the carriers of his covenant. We're like the moving arcs. Oh, yo, come on. Y'all. Can y'all see the word and the word and the word? Oh, man, it's beautiful. It's like when you see those the cubes, right? It's like a big cube. You take that out. It's a little cube. You take out a little. That's how the word is. But instead of getting small, it gets bigger. The picture of him is bigger. It's grander. It's beautiful. All right. So he might preserve us alive as it is this day. Boom, as it is this day. Heaven, he brought us out of Egypt. Like he was saying with Moses, look at y'all. Y'all done came out of Egypt. They had you working so hard, but I'm keeping you where you ain't even feeling it. Now, is your shoes torn? Is your teeth bad? No. Is your clothes warm? No. The miraculous miracles of the preservation, then, he's got a bank and treasure of. Like he opens the north wind and the south gate, and the winds of the snow comes in, then the spring comes in, then the summer and the fall. So is his preservation and his goodness and his mercy. Oh, y'all better come on up in here. Let me go to chauffeur real quick. Y'all better praise him. Okay? Blessed be Ahia. All praises to Ahia. For he alone is worthy. Let me turn this speaker off. Yes. Okay, we're almost done, family. The first round. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Ahia, not before man. And why do you think it's saying that again? Because there is a people who were teaching the commandments, but they were doing it for man. And that is the kind of show that's what you call pharisaical. You ain't got to be burdensome to be a Pharisee. You can be a Pharisee and a Sadducee according to your performance of the work. What do you mean, Adelsa? He can see your heart. Because see, the Pharisees didn't love the word. They didn't have a love for it. They wasn't in love. They wasn't in worship, in commune with it. They just was like, okay, he said it is, okay, keep the Sabbath day, I'm going to keep the Sabbath day. But it's not a delight unto them. That's a service that you call Cain. He don't want nothing to do with that. He showed us that over there with Cain and Abel in the beginning about those who do. It's right here. It's all through the word of those who do it unto him and unto him right hand and unto man. dividing of the wheat and tares. They're gonna be the ones talk about, didn't we do all these things in your name? And guess what? You're not gonna be saying the name. Higher forbid you be saying the name, and you still ain't rocking out with the character. This is what the lesson we went through this week. Charity. Charity. This is something I feel that as a people, as a nation, we don't give enough lessons on. And so we'll do that in a little bit after we have our nice eating break. All right, beloved family. I'm going to slightly end it here. But yes, let's read 25 again. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Ahia, I am that I am, as he have commanded us. Did it say it should be our religion? Should it be our tradition? It shall be our righteousness. That is the difference between his children who do as it is written, rather than those who pick through and scheme like a gleaner through a vineyard, take the grapes they want, disregard the other ones like they ain't got no use. Like you can't make some jam or something out of it. Or don't even leave some for the poors. That's a mindset that we got to get rid of. We cannot come unto him like the church say, come as you are. In other words, bring what you got, but there's still a statue that you go before a king. You ain't gonna come as you are going to a judge. You ain't gonna come out your bed wearing slippers and a onesie and a bonnet. Don't come unto him that way. He is well more worthy than the respect than an earthly judge or anyone with a position of authority. So we're going to end that there, beloveds. I pray that you all were edified in that. I know I was. I was surprised. This is a witness that no matter how many times you read certain things, that he, through his spirit, can give you a fresh new revelation. And the anointing upon his word by his spirit is unlimited. So I thank you all for tuning in. I thank you for all those who were edified and that are willing to share the revelation that you have with others. I don't mean that you ain't got to even press the video to somebody to share. Just share what you have learned this rise, what he has showed you about the revelation of how the vows were given to us, how we are married to him, and the signs that he gave. You can use an example as how a man proposed to a woman. I mean, in the kingdom of Disney, they used the prince and always coming for the woman when they were really copycatting the love affair that the creator from above came down to have upon his people, which were from the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The promised seed. And because we possess the promises, we got some jealous envious ones because they're mad at him. That's what it's all about. So there really is no place that you can find on the globe or the map that you can get escape from these things. The indignation, he said, I set before you blessing and cursing. Choose therefore life. So if you obey what is written, you're not going to worry about, or you're not going to have to deal with the wrath, the indignation, the anger that will wipe you off the face of the earth. But it's already set in the earth. You can't run from it. So wouldn't it just be easier to live life as an obedient child? I think so. You know, living witness of it. So I thank you all for tuning in. Gonna have a little break and then have some time with family and word. And then when Ahia permits, we will return. Looking forward to hear any other messages from anybody else. To my brother out there, Holly, I'm looking forward to what you got today. Thank you for the lesson that you've brought us thus far. Finally getting almost officially settled. I want to thank everybody for the love and the support and the blessing, encouraging words that you give me on congratulations on the home. We are very grateful and thrilled. And we have definitely, before we move our furniture in here, in this very corner, wow, where I had the commandments and my rug where I prayed and we sanctified, y'all. This was the corner. That's amazing. I thought I was going to have to put this downstairs, but it was like a higher pushed me to this very corner that I sanctified unto him. When we didn't have the furniture here, look where we're set up at. That's amazing. So blessed be high for that. Yo, love you all so very much. I'm looking forward to see you again soon, sometime today. And stay blessed and enjoy the rest in Him. All right. Peace and blessings to you all. So be it.